Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick. I talk all about trading and investing here on the channel, and today we have a very special guest software tool to show off, which is the Market Makers Method dashboard. Now this dashboard is super cool, especially if you're like me and you like to trend follow. They sponsored this video and they've basically given me a little free access to check out this tool and to try it out for a few days. So I want to talk about what we've got here on the dashboard. Now there's a whole bunch of stuff on the screen here, and I'm going to break it down because it may look a little bit like a lot, but it's actually pretty well organized from my experience so far. So we've got all these different things here, and the first thing that you're going to notice with this right off the bat is that it's got these PFH and PFL readings all over the screen. Now you might be asking yourself, what is a PFH or L? Now a PFH is a peak formation high. Now I mentioned this tool is a trend detection software. So basically it looks for things in the market to indicate potential turns and starts of new trends in the market. So you can actually see, for example, that we had a peak formation high here that called a pretty decent start to a downtrend here. So when you get a peak formation high, that's basically saying, hey, this looks like a potential high here, a peak formation high to be more clear, and it gives us kind of this prediction of potential downtrend incoming. And we can actually look at a lot of different charts. We can take a look at, for example, Euro NZD. Check this out. We've seen an incredible trend here that it called just from this peak formation high here. Look at this insane rally to the downside. Now we're looking at the 1 hour chart, but I believe we can change that to different time frames as well. For example, we could take a look at the daily chart, and there's the peak formation high. You can actually see it on the daily, called a pretty nice lower high there. Now, lots of cool different features. Let's actually take a look also though at something that is a peak formation low, maybe New Zealand Swiss, for example. We are looking at the 1 hour chart. You can see, let's actually drag that to the 4 hour chart, for example, and bam, you can see. Actually, I think the daily might be the best for this. So there it is. So a peak formation low, it basically, in this example, called the low of a trend. Now, no signal or indicator by itself is going to make you a super mega profitable trader. And I don't want to come across as that, because this tool is definitely a helpful tool, but it's not going to do everything for you. However, this tool combined with looking at all of your other technical factors, building your own strategies, coming up with concepts, good risk management practices, all of the things that we talk about on this channel, combined with a trend detection software, can be very, very cool. You can actually sort this as well. Check this out. So you can see we sorted everything by peak formation lows and peak formation highs, and we can basically do all sorts of different sortings, and we can see all the different readings across a bunch of different markets all at once. For example, if we took a look at the USD Canadian dollar, you can actually see that we have a peak formation high here that called a pretty good trend to the downside here. And you can see, actually, one thing before we get ahead of ourselves, what are these flashing numbers, Nick? Well, these are really, really cool. This software basically shows you where a potential change in direction is incoming. So when we have these big flashing numbers across the screen, to me, that signals that, hey, we might actually have a potential new trend incoming. And let's actually take a look at that. So what this is saying is it's saying that, okay, it's flashing right now, which means, hey, this might actually be a change of direction soon. It might mean that we could have some downtrend potentially, or looking for, opportunities in a changing market environment. So that's what we've got there. I think that there's a lot to unpack here, so I'm going to keep moving here. But again, this signal by itself seems to be a pretty good indicator of new trends coming into the market, and I think definitely worth considering. Now, there is actually a link down below in the description if you want to check out this tool for yourself. There's actually a discount coupon as well they set us up with, so anybody who wants to get access to the tool, I think it's Nick15, gets you 15% off of any purchase that you decide to make. Definitely do your own due diligence, of course, and check out this software for yourself. But let's keep rolling and see what else we have to look at here. So we just talked about the peak formation highs, peak formation lows, which is a big one on this main screen, but there's actually way more to this tool. So let's see what else we have to check out. Okay, and so we actually have this legend also. I wanted to add this here. So this legend is going to be a super helpful little, legend that tells you what everything means. Because again, at first there's a lot of flashing stuff and lots of stuff going on in the screen. But if you look here over at the legend, this is going to tell you some important details. So you can actually see that again, a peak formation low is indicating a potential bullish trend and a peak formation high indicating a bearish one. Now a new peak is, you can see the check mark there. And actually, flashing means, this is going to explain it better than I did. Flashing means that the trend has reached 3.0 ADR or more. Typical trends, market maker trends, last 3 times ADR before reversing. So this just gives you kind of anytime you have questions, you can head over to the legend and get your questions answered there in case you forget what all this different status concepts mean. Okay, the next one or the next component of this dashboard that I want to check out with you guys is in fact their trading floor. Now this is kind of cool because the developer, or at least the owner here, is also named Nick. So shout out to the fellow Nicks out there. Nick ran or started this dashboard. He is also a trader himself, and they've also got a full-time analyst as well here that you can check out and see what they are actually doing. So let's check out, for example, Jason's activity, and you can see he's actually sharing trade ideas and concepts using the dashboard for people inside of the dashboard here. So you can see he shared some ideas with dollar Swiss, right? He's looking at the analysis there and sharing concepts with a peak formation low behind it. That's kind of cool. So it's looking for a potential bullish trend, and we've seen some nice analysis here. Just scrolling through this, you can see they've definitely got plenty of good markups here and ideas being shared for members inside. So let's also take a look at Nick's just to see. So you can see he's calling out ideas using this tool, and that's really cool to me because they're basically using the tool, showing you how to use it in real time and how they're using it, at least in real time. Now the next thing is you can actually see that we've got a chat room, which I think is really cool. So you've got some people in here as well just chatting that are using the software. You can see there's a good number of people in here as well. So that's kind of a cool feature for people who are also using the tool. It's nice to be able to communicate with other people that are in the same boat, if you will. All right, and the next thing I want to check out is going to be the news section. Now, the news section is really cool because, again, this dashboard gives you a ton of stuff to look at, and it also puts it all in one place. So as a trader, it can be kind of, I guess, a little bit annoying to go all over the place to get your different sources. The cool thing about this dashboard is it does put everything in one spot for you. So for example, if you want to go check out what's going on in the markets, I love how this thing filters some of the most pressing news right to the top. Will trade wars persist after the US election, US presidential election, impact on markets, right? You've got all these different news concepts coming out for you to quickly read in the news section. You've got Forex news also, which is cool. So you can break it down just by foreign exchange related news. You have indices, right? You have commodities, right? If you want to look at what's going on with gold or crude oil, whatever you want to check out, there is news being posted here to check out in real time as well. All right, and I also want to check out the calendar. So some of you guys might recognize this. This is really, really simply laid out. But this tool also shows you kind of everything that's coming out, everything that is high news, or you can actually filter it in the top right here. You can change it to whatever you'd like to look at. So if you just want to look at high impact news, bam, there you go. We've got everything that's going on, high impact for this week. You can see for the most part, it's already been a pretty busy week in terms of news. And you can also filter it by currencies if you want as well. You got the Canadian dollar. If you want to see what's going on with any of these select pairs, you can do so. So very cool stuff with the news feature and the calendar section as well. Now the university section is also really cool because it does give you some starter video tutorials on how to actually use the dashboard, which is awesome. You can go check those out for sure and see for yourself a little bit more in depth some of the stuff from the founders of this tool and see what they have to say about it. They're definitely going to know it better than me, as I'm just kind of reviewing it and checking it out for you guys here on my channel. And for the most part, that is pretty much it. Now, I think out of all of the different features that are available on this software tool, I think for the price that they're asking, it's pretty reasonable. I definitely think that this tool has some very, very creative, innovative ways of looking at the market. Their concept here with the PFLs and PFHs are very, very cool. And I love the fact that you can sort it and you can look look at a bunch of different markets just at the click of a button. Now, a lot of you guys will recognize that you've got plenty of charting features here as well, so you can actually even do some of your own analysis on the charts here. You don't have to use other things, which I find very, very cool. For me, as a trader, I like simplicity. I like things to be very, very well, laid out, so I don't have to go searching and have so many tabs open at once just to do my analysis. I find that can be kind of annoying and kind of cumbersome. So having everything in one place to me is actually just a huge advantage by itself. Having that combined with trend readings, right? For example, we have Euro New Zealand right now, which I've been, doing my own analysis on this one outside of filming this video. This one has been an incredibly strong downtrend, and this charting software has actually called a pretty decent high point here on that move. Of course, it's not going to get it right all the time, and I wouldn't expect any software to do so. We also have to remember that software is not as it's not going to do absolutely everything for you. Software is a tool for a reason. It's here to offer ideas. And for me as a trend follower, I don't need the software to do everything for me. I just would love software to do something like this, where it's basically scanning for opportunities so that it cuts down my time for looking for setups by a drastic amount. Think about if I had to go through every single one of these charts and manually go check and see, do my analysis on all of them to see which ones were trending. That's a lot of work compared to having this thing read for you what's going on in terms of the biggest PFHs and PFLs here, which basically just tell you what's moving like crazy. For example, we've got this really big strong move on XRP. This is Ripple right now, which is interesting. You've got all the majors and some of the minor crosses all at the touch of a button, which I think is really cool. So you can see pound dollar here is considered in an uptrend. I wonder if that will start to adjust if we continue to break lower, and I'm sure it will, right? It starts to flip the script basically once things start to trend the other direction, which again, for me as a trend follower, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for readings and strong things here. And if we go to the check mark, let's read really quick about the check mark one more time. Remember that the check mark means that there's a new peak, a new trend. And I think that's really cool because now we don't have to go through all these charts and look for new ones. We can just click the check marks. Here's Euro USD, which is showing a new trend to the downside. We can go to pound New Zealand and bam, there's a new trend to the downside forming. We can go to Euro Yen, 3 PFH. There it is, new downtrend forming. Now, again, not going to do everything for you, but it does scan for opportunities. And for starters, if I just knew I had to look at 3 of these, I already see some setups that I like. In fact, I am short on Euro USD, and I use this tool as a component of my analysis. I saw, my own my own concepts combined with this chart, breakouts to the downside, slow of momentum, plus the PFH reading here is another confluence factor. So I think that this is the true value of this software, is using it as confluence and simplicity and a scanner itself. I hope that helps, guys. Check it out for yourself. Use the code down below if you're interested in joining up with their software, and tell them I sent you. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you back in the next episode. Oh,